Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cock Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world. And welcome back to another match preview show for you guys this evening. Yes, we are going to be previewing, of course, Liverpool versus Tottenham Hotspurs. Again, help us forward at Anfield on Sunday night. But of course, we have a bit of breaking news as well to bring you guys at the straight at the start of the episode as well. Obviously concerning James Milner. Of course, it's every time we're going to go live, of course, we have breaking news. And yes, James Milner is the main topic of the breaking news. Of course, we're going to be speaking as well about Jurgen Klopp's press conference as well, and everything he's mentioned in there. And of course, we're going to be talking about Trent Alexander-Arnold breaking more records as well. Anyway, but guys, let me know how all of you are in the comments down below. Thank you, Luke or Ricky, for commenting exactly the wording I use. Absolutely fantastic. But yeah, hello everyone. God's sake, absolutely hate everyone. God, Mark, don't put their link in the chat. Don't. They don't deserve it. Hello, Henry, as well. Anyway, all right, you take over as well. I hate all of you. I hate all of you. But yes, hello, Mark, as well. Don't put their links in the comments, Mark. Not Luke and Ricky's anyway. They don't deserve it. Anyway, of course, I am joking anyway. But we will dive straight in with the breaking news. Of course, I know certain someone will be happy with this, but yeah, we are going to talk about the breaking news concerning James Milner. Obviously, David Ornstein, just as I was about to go live, has broken the news that Brighton are preparing a move to sign James Milner as a free agent. The 37-year-old's contract expires this summer. Brighton determined to secure former England midfielder. Burnley also among suitors, but Roberto De Zerbi's men are favourites for the move as well. And of course, also adding to that as well, David Ornstein has said that James Milner's contract at Liverpool expires at the end of the season. And despite Jurgen Klopp's wish to keep him, the club have given no indication of offering a new deal, which again, obviously, I know Jurgen was very much pushing behind the scenes to get this deal done in terms of James Milner and offering him a new deal, which I know might make some people happy, would make the majority, I think, unhappy. The fact that James Milner would be getting a new deal anyway, but the fact that Brighton have come in with an offer already for James Milner is a big one. And of course, now I think that pretty much confirms that pretty much Liverpool and James Milner will be leaving the club at the end of the season. And look, I thought Jurgen might have got his wish in terms of, again, him potentially leaving the club, not leaving the club, him having one more year, and then potentially we might be having a player role deal or that type of scenario. But again, James Milner to Brighton. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Is it a good move for Brighton? Absolutely. You know, look, you're getting a very professional player. Again, with the youngsters and the youth that comes up from Brighton as well, would offer very much good, a good experience in that aspect of things as well. Obviously, with Adam Lallana also being at Brighton as well. Obviously, they're like taking former Liverpool players as well. So again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Obviously, with James Milner, and obviously the breaking news with, of course, David Ornstein coming out and saying that Brighton preparing a move to sign James Milner on a free transfer, and of course also Brighton are also interested in James Milner as well anyway. And if there is any other breaking news as well, I'm going to quickly check if there is any more, but that seems to be it as of right now anyway. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts on James Milner. Looks like he's going to be leaving Liverpool at the end of the season as well. So again, let me know your guys' thoughts. Obviously, Jack told us to. Of course, he told you to. God's sake, I hate you all. Yes, lad, as well. Hello, Tom. Obviously, I've said this in private, but Tom, you're going down, lads. The countdown's begun. Obviously, Tom, I already told Tom that anyway. But oh, you hate me too? Then it's no, I don't hate you. I just hate Luke, Ricky, Jack, and Tom because we just been talking. That's just been on the topic, of course. Anyway, but I hope he goes to Clarets as well. In my opinion, says Henry. I think Brighton's a good move for him. To be fair, was it Jack with eyes emojis? Jack is too busy. I'm not reading all of that out. I'm not getting bad. Naughty Jack as well. Pick up chat as well. Obviously, the boys saying let's smash the like buttons as well. Yeah, if you could, very much appreciate it as well. And like I said, I am only joking. Obviously, please go and subscribe over to the other lads as well. And obviously, Luca Ricky putting get Conor Romano to 1K as well. Yeah, if you could, very much appreciate it as well. Again, we're trying to get there for the end of the season. If we can do it, then happy bloody days. That's the only thing I'm going to say anyway. But Justin's in saying this news is 3 years too late as well. I think many would agree with you as well, mate. I'm not going to lie. Look, I thought Liverpool, I thought maybe they might have given him one more year. Now that this isn't the case, obviously it offers a load of conversation on terms of squad numbers as well. Who takes the number 7 shirt next season? And potentially as well, Liverpool might be getting 3 or 4 midfielders in the door now, considering. But again, that's the hope of it. Me actually saying, "Oh yeah, 100%, that's going to be it." Yeah, no, I don't think that's particularly going to happen anyway. But again, I'm not particularly sure on it. But we can hope and dream for the summer again. I'm already prepared in my mind. Like in one side of my brain, I'm ultra positive for the season, and positive that the summer's going to go as we want it to go. And then the other side of me is like, oh, we've been here before under this ownership, and again, we've all wanted investment, and it's just like, oh, that excuse of, oh, we're not in the Champions League because that go away, just go away. Anyway, but again, I'm more hopeful than I am not hopeful anyway. But going to need some investment as well. Yeah, absolutely. Homegrown players as well. I think that's going to be a conversation in terms of, again, if Liverpool don't get Mason Mount in, if the Liverpool go after Alex Scott potentially from Bristol. I know there was something coming up about him, I think today in the news, in terms of Liverpool are interested, but Bristol want a buy to loan. So practically we'd buy him, and then next season he'd come to the club and obviously stay at Bristol anyway. So I don't know, realistically, in that aspect of things. Obviously, Ugarte got linked as well today. Obviously, teasing that on Twitter. But again, I think for me, the only guaranteed thing is probably the fact that McAllister, I think, to Liverpool is growing a lot, I would say. But again, that's not a guaranteed. Like Liverpool don't have guaranteed moves this summer, which is frightening when you think about it. But as far as like where you go with Jurgen, he's like, yep, everything's sound. We're gonna do this, do that, and the rest anyway. But either way, guys, let me know your thoughts on the James Milner breaking news anyway. But we are going to take a quick look then and go into the preview side of things, of course, between Liverpool and Spurs, and have a look at the last few games between both teams as well. Obviously, last time out in the league, of course, Liverpool got the away win, which, of course, I think that was Liverpool's first away win of the season, I believe. That this season, which, of course, is massive in that aspect of things. I think Darwin and Mo got the goals in that game in particular. But if I quickly scroll back up as well, you look around the league table on this side, of course, Liverpool only a point behind with a game in hand on Spurs. Obviously, we're going to try everything to get top 4, but again, with the results going, Manchester United and Newcastle's way, of course, yesterday, it looks very much unlikely that Liverpool will get top 4. But again, of course, Jurgen speaking about Europa League today and saying that, look, we're going to get what we get now this season. Hopefully, we can finish as high as possible. And now that looks to be 5th, potentially. And again, we can all hope maybe there might be some disaster from United or Newcastle, but I think if we're being realistic, I think I think Europa League is the main one for Liverpool this season anyway. But if we just take a look at the games again, like I said, 2-1 win away from home earlier on in the season. Of course, last season's fixture at Anfield, of course, drawing 1-1. Obviously, Luis Diaz getting the equaliser in that game. And again, a 2-2 draw, 3-1 win for Liverpool, and a 2-1 win for Liverpool in that aspect of things. So again, Liverpool unbeaten in the last 5 at least anyway, against Spurs. We take a quick look anyway at least at the form sheet as well. Of course, Liverpool looking very much better than what they did a couple of weeks ago. In that aspect of things, of course, the 2-2 draw against Arsenal, the 0-0 against Chelsea, but then again 3 wins on the bounce for the Reds, obviously against Leeds, Forest, and of course West Ham. And then again, you look at Spurs' last couple of games, the draw against Everton, they somehow managed to beat Brighton, of all the teams in the world. And then, of course, yeah, the Bournemouth 3-2 defeat, the 6-1 hammering by Newcastle, and of course, last night coming back from 2-0 down to draw 2-2 with Manchester United as well. So, and again, guys, let me know your guys' thoughts on Spurs, because again, for me, it's been a complete roller coaster if you're a Spurs fan this season, especially with the managerial situation. Again, I know I've seen a couple of Spurs fans say that they want Nagelsmann. Nagelsmann is the main target for them for the summer, which again, is there a realistic one? Potentially. It's again how Daniel Levy can, I think, show off the club, if that makes sense. In terms of what magical idea can he come up with to try and lure obviously Nagelsmann into the job? Because I think obviously Spurs fans now, I think instead of another manager, I think a majority of them want Levy out. I would say, anyway. Again, I don't know if that's just my thoughts or my opinions, but I think the real problem is Daniel Levy at Spurs at the moment. Again, I know obviously the joke is with Spurs, again, bottle jobs and so on, but I think Spurs have a real big problem in terms of this squad. Again, we've said it for Liverpool on the Liverpool side of things this season in terms of our midfield aging and everything needing a revamp realistically. And for me, that's what needs to happen with Spurs, because Harry Kane, again, he's not getting any younger. The value of him is not going to go any further up. Of course, do they sell Harry Kane this summer? I know that I think Brian Mason was speaking about it earlier on and said that, look, we'll talk about it in the summer, and this, and obviously the genetic answers in terms of a manager in a press conference. But I think it's a massive conversation for Spurs. Do they, and Harry Kane himself, does he stay at Spurs forever? Does he go to Manchester United? Because for me, again, there's only two options really three options I'd say, and that's either move to Manchester United, move abroad to somewhere like a Bayern Munich potentially, or even then stay at Spurs, which, judging from everything that he said in previous interviews, and of course that bloody golf overlap episode, in terms of, he wants to win everything and he wants to be on top of everything. For me, he has to move away from Spurs, and not even that. You look at Son, you look at their midfield, the defense as well, the goalkeeper situation in terms of Hugo Lloris. Obviously, he's not going to be around for the game on Sunday. It begs the question of, Spurs need a good rebuild, and it's going to take time. It's not going to take a one summer. It's not going to take a two summer. It's going to take, probably three, at least potentially, with the right person in the door. I feel anyway. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below as well, on Spurs and Spurs' situation, because again, they have to get the right person in the door. If they don't, then again, it's going to be, absolutely chaotic in that aspect of things as well. I'm just sorry, guys. I'm just going to quickly check if there is any more breaking news for you guys. But again, I don't want to be sat here and someone's going, "Oh, look, this is what's happened." Anyway, but yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts anyway on Harry Kane and the Spurs situation as a whole. Anyway, but let me quickly scroll up. Justin saying we also Oxnaby Arthur following Milner out of the door. Yep, that's true. I was looking to see if anyone was going to stay. No, yeah, that's them. And is there anyone else in midfield? And obviously Bobby's going. Yeah, no, I think that's it in terms of midfielders for the summer. So again, Liverpool need a minimum of three midfielders in the door for next season, at least anyway. But nothing is ever guaranteed. Absolutely. Jordan's in as well, saying big up. Hello, Jordan. Hopefully, on a fantastic day, my friend, as well. Laughing at Manchester United though with the draw last night as well. Yeah, I think United fans thought that it was all done in that first half. Was it Bruno Fernandes? Nutmegged Romero and then slammed it against the bar. If that had gone in, it's game over. But now looking back, it is a wasted opportunity in that aspect of things as well. So yeah, very very funny in terms of Manchester United as well. But evening Jordan as well, says Mark. Talia Albin one is very confident, sorry, for Sunday's game as well. Yeah, obviously 3 wins on the bounce for Liverpool. Obviously, we'll go through what Jurgen talked about consistency earlier on in the press conference as well, and yeah, I think that's we'll have a look at the quote that he said, but just in general, I think that again Liverpool have to continue this form now. Again, it's one thing getting results; it's all about the performances now for Liverpool from now until the end of the season because it's like I think Jurgen said in the past conferences, the fact that you can take things at the end of this season going into next season, and that's for me what Liverpool have to do. If Liverpool do go on a massive run now from now until the end of the season, they can continue that going into next season, and hopefully with the players that we want, and of course the recruitment that should be there. Then again, it's hopeful, but only if, of course, that happens in that aspect of things anyway. But I see a 3-4 win on Sunday. Boys will be on fire. Yeah, absolutely. Again, the fact that we've got um, you know, Gakpo, Darwin, Salah, uh, Lucho, Diogo as well. Again, we've got the whole five available. Obviously, hopefully Bobby will be back maybe in 2 weeks' time, potentially as well. So again, the front line is fully fit and available. So apart from Bobby, of course, but again, it's good just to see the fact that we've got options coming off the bench as well instead of being stuck with the three that we're starting with, realistically. I've been saying a 3-1 win as well. Might be spoilers for my results for there, Mark, as well. But Justin says, I hope Kane stays at Spurs. Hope Levy refuses to sanction a move to Man United or he sells him to Bayern instead if he has to leave. Yeah, again, and let me know your guys' thoughts chat as well. I don't know what price tag you would put on Harry Kane. He'd have 1 year left on his contract in the summer. Of course, we know he's a top striker, but for me, I wouldn't be paying 100 million for him. If I was Spurs, if I got anything of worth like 60 million plus, I'd be biting at it for Harry Kane. But you already know Daniel Levy's going to be wanting over 100 mil quite easily. So, and I was watching what I seen like a clip on TikTok on Rio Ferdinand when he was like, oh, I think when Nemanja Vidic was doing a podcast somewhere, and Rio Ferdinand was like, oh yeah, you could sign Harry Kane, and for three years at least, he'd be the top goal scorer in the league, and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, yeah, like that's judging from things that have happened, that's a sure thing potentially. But the problem is he's 30. Is he 30, 31, Harry Kane? One bad injury or one injury that if it's a hamstring injury, especially with the age as well. Again, Harry Kane's not the quickest of players, but for me, Harry Kane would be playing a lot deeper than just striker if that was to happen. And I think as well with his age and like what we've seen with certain players going to Manchester United, like looking at Alexis Sanchez, for example. I know it's a completely different scenario, but Alexis Sanchez at Arsenal was one of the best players in the league at the time. Went to Manchester United and completely flopped. And not to say Harry Kane would go and do that. I'm not saying that, but you've got to be very careful with transfers like this. This is why again, certain transfers are brilliant in terms of value and age and profile, and so and this is why they're called great transfers. For me, if you're going to go after Harry Kane for 100 million, that's a terrible deal. And like I said, I think 60 million, you know, 60 million up. So of course, Spurs will be biting or should be biting the hands of anyone. If you're looking for 100 million plus, I think in what's the correct word to use? La La Land. There we go. La La Land. That's the perfect analogy for it. But Evening Corner as well as Brian. Good seeing you, Brian, as well. Hi, Brian, as well. Obviously, football also says I still have hopes for top four. Slim. Again, hoping for top four, but again, you look at it. I think what is it? Both United and Newcastle have to lose 3 games now after the last 6. I'm not particularly sure. As well, that's only if Liverpool win the entirety of the rest of the games this season. So yeah, I think look, Europa League is the aim. If we can get anything better, then brilliant. But again, I'd say Europa League as a safe bet anyway. 100 million as an English team at 80 million if Bayern as well. I think the thing with Bayern is, will what's going to happen with Victor Osimhen? That he's going to be the big conversation this summer. Last summer it was Haaland and Darwin, for example. This summer coming up, of course, Osimhen is going to be the main conversation because I think his agent has already agreed or nearly agreed personal terms with PSG. Osimhen saying that he wants Premier League or to go to Bayern Munich or go to the Bundesliga, which is Bayern Munich in that aspect of things. And it's just that. It's like, again, the agency or the agent will be pushing to go with the highest bid, which of course will be PSG in that aspect of things, because again, Messi is most likely going to be leaving PSG now. So again, they'll have a ton of wages and transfer funds for somebody like that, of course. And again, they'll probably move Mbappe out onto the right again. But for me, it does depend on Osimhen what happens then in terms of the domino effect of the transfer window anyway. But doing the opposite of what Rio Ferdinand says is always a good idea. Absolute muppet as well. Yeah, absolutely. United and Chelsea ruin players. Absolutely. Hi, Mark, as well as Brian. Can still hope for upsets though as well. Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's the thing. I know you just gotta hope and dream whether or not if Liverpool can get top four in that aspect of things. Anyway, let me have a quick gander. Has there been any more breaking news? No, just everyone got on about James Milner. Kane has washed Connor as well. I wouldn't say he's washed particularly, Gary. I just think at 31, 30, 31, I just think you have to be so careful with transfers like that, especially like Premier League. And again, I know he's already playing in the Premier League, but considering the facts of you're paying that amount of money to, again, obviously, United need a striker, absolutely. But is Harry Kane worth 100 million? No, not in my opinion. Not for his age and contract situation. He's not worth 100 million. But again, I could be wrong in that aspect of things anyway. But we're now going to talk, of course, about Jurgen Klopp's press conference today. And of course, Jurgen speaking about, of course, players available. Obviously, he mentioned that Ibu Kanate is back in training as well. Obviously, saying that Ibu will be back. Naby will probably be training today. Obviously, didn't have the medical report yet in terms of when they did the press conference. Ox, of course, isn't training. Diogo had a bad knock in the back, but we should be okay. We need to see how it develops as well. So again, positively good news in that aspect of things. Of course, Ox out, but again, Naby back, Ox out, sorry, Naby back, and Ibu back as well. But again, the fact that Diogo Jota should be completely fine in that aspect of things as well anyway. But what have I just seen in the comments? If someone asks you that you can sign Bellingham and Rice, but Mo Salah out, no, no, not for me. Again, I think Jude comes to Liverpool. I think maybe. Meh. If if he signs that new deal, I think it's for a reason. But for me particularly, of course, if he doesn't, he's going to go to Madrid. In my opinion, anyway. If you can stay fit, he has maybe three good seasons left in him as well. Yeah, potentially. Is he worth Derek Lee and Crackers as well? Yeah, Derek Lee Dunkers. Jesus Christ, that's a massive shout that. But obviously, Jurgen did also speak as well about Curtis Jones, which of course I know will absolutely thrill a few people anyway on year and on social media at least anyway. But he's only in the squad because he has real quality, and now you can see it. And now you can see it. Sorry, he is good on the ball, safe with the ball, which is super helpful, and defends extremely good. He deserves that spell definitely as well. And again, with Curtis Jones, again having was it now 5 starts in a row, which of course it massively positive in that aspect as well. And realistically, I think he does start against Spurs as well, which of course is a great sign in terms of Curtis Jones. And again, for me, I thought Curtis Jones would have been on the chopping block this summer, but he somehow managed to turn it around. Again, will he be a regular starter depending on what Liverpool do in the summer? Maybe not, but again, it's good if he can keep this momentum and keep this form up. Then having him around will be absolutely brilliant and absolutely perfect for next season as well. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts as well, and get your starting line predictions in the comments down below as well in a brief moment as well. But obviously, Klopp speaking on consistency as well, saying it's too early to speak about consistency. Winning 3 games isn't consistent. It's good, but it can only be the start of something. It's a result, but for us, it must be the performance because that is what we work with as well, which of course is true. Like we can win a game 1-0 and be absolutely crap, which has been the majority of this season in terms of Liverpool wins. But again, for me, it's mostly important in terms of like Liverpool. If Liverpool were to give 100% and to be the performance was really good, but we still lost on the day, I'd be annoyed, but I'd be content with that. This season, like again, like Wolves away, for example, where the performance was lackluster and spineless, that's for me what I think where a lot of Liverpool supporters will also be in that sense of again not giving your all for the club and not giving it for the badge as well. That for me I think is the most annoying. But again, the last couple of games and of course the new system change as well was also allowed the likes of Trent to flourish, and again defensively and defensive wise in our shape we look a lot better, and as well when we're trying to control games we look back to being not completely there in terms of completely running the game. But I feel like when in times this season where things might go a bit wrong, I think Liverpool in the new system can deal with it a little bit better in that aspect of things anyway. But again, that's just my opinions in the comments. And let me know your thoughts as well in the comments down below anyway. But we are going to talk about Trent. And we mentioned after the West Ham game in terms that he's now broken the record for the most amount of assists in a single month for Liverpool now. And we do have the list thanks to Match of the Day as well. As you can see, obviously Trent now is on 5 assists for this month as well. Of course, April, of course, with one game remaining in it as well. But you look at the list, that's all on 4. Again, Stan Collymore, Steven Gerrard twice, Luis Suarez, Jordan Henderson back in 2013, getting 4 assists as well. But again, obviously Trent at the bottom of the list as well, back in November 21 as well. And again, just James Milner, Phil Coutinho, Mo Salah, Sadio Mane as well. So again, obviously brilliant the fact that Trent is 100%. 100% playing the way that Trent should be playing and being, really, really good in that new role as well. And just hopefully now he can just continue this as well, because it's not only the fact of potentially we want to see him, what's the word I'm trying to find? Flourish, if that's the right word, in the new role. But to be able to take that, and then if Liverpool have to change a little bit of the system to go back to it being just a flat 4, hopefully Trent now can develop that better in that aspect. Because again, he looks he looks re-energized in terms of getting the ball, the counter pressing, the passing. Again, we know Trent's brilliant with the passing, but again, you look at against West Ham, there was a few passes that he tried and it didn't quite work out, but another time it would work out, and that. So again, for me, I think realistically, Trent, this new role is perfect for him. I just think potentially the Liverpool keep it around long term. I think it's an option. Do I think it will be a factor next season? I don't, in my opinion. But again, if we want to try and break down teams and want to have that control factor in the game, it's not a bad shout to go back to either, is it? Chat as well. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below as well. But obviously, Gary St. Connor, would you start Nunes? We'll speak about Darwin in a minute. Again, guys, let me know your starting predictions in the comments. Gakpo will replace Bobby. Booby as well, but again, I released that short out, didn't I? Say that again, Liverpool already have the Roberto Firmino replacement in Cody Gakpo. Rather start Diaz too, way miles better with him on as well. Again, I think he's in the conversation to start for the weekend, absolutely. Obviously, Brian's gone. Ali, Trent, Canate, Van Dijk, Robbo, Fabinho, Thiago, Elliott, Nunes, Salah, and Jota. For Brian, I'm not putting Jones in my predicted lineup. Sorry as well. Again, I just have that thing of if it's not broke, then don't fix it. If it's not broken, don't fix it. That's the thing I'm practically saying anyway. He looks happy to be on the pitch again. Yeah, he does, absolutely. Depends who deals on as well. Yeah, absolutely. Gary's going forward to Gomez in goal. Gomez, Van Dijk, Canate, Robbo, Thiago, Trent, Elliott, Gakpo, Salah, and Nunes as well. But to be fair, we're going to move on to starting line predictions. This is what I've gone for. I've gone with Alisson Becker in goal, Trent at right back, Ibu Kanate to come back in for Joel Matip, alongside Virgil van Dijk, with Andy Robertson at left back. I've gone with a midfield three of Fabinho, Curtis Jones, and Jordan Henderson. And then I've gone with a front three of Darwin Nunes, Cody Gakpo, and Mohamed Salah as well. I was umming and ahhing between Gakpo, Nunes, and Diaz. For me, obviously with Jota, I know Jota has been banging in the goals recently, but I think that again, with him being out for so long, you don't want to keep on again. If he's fit and available, then sure, go on and play him. But I feel like Liverpool, I don't want, we don't want to overplay him in terms of him coming back and then again getting a few games in. That's fair enough, but I don't want to overwork Diogo Jota already, of course. And again, we speak about Luis Diaz, of course. He's a shout for me to even start as well. But again, you don't want to rush him back either. So I think the best three in that regard, again, Darwin on the left, Cody Gakpo through the middle, and then Mohamed Salah then up front on the right hand side as well. But again, let me know your starting line predictions, guys, as well, and score predictions as well in the comments down below. Gakpo should be himself and not a Bobby knockoff. He's not a Bobby knockoff. I disagree with that, Gary. Again, for me, Cody Gakpo can do what Bobby can do, but I think he offers that more attacking threat in that aspect of things as well. But it depends if Jota starts as well. Says Mark, I need Trent Screamer on Sunday to remind people Trent is cooking again. Yeah, absolutely, Justin. Again, for me, Trent's already cooking. And that's the thing. It looks like this new hybrid role has given him that lift that he needed. Which, when you think about it, and again, I was speaking to a couple of people on this, and you think about it, he's 24 years of age. He's won everything in football that you can win, apart from a World Cup in that way anyway. And I think you need that little bit of that fire under your belly a little bit in terms of, because you look at Liverpool's right back situation. There hasn't been cover there for him, and again, I know you've got James Milner there at the moment, and of course I know Calvin Ramsey's there as well, of course, but obviously he's been injured for all the season, and hasn't really offered any competition in that aspect of things. And that's for me what the problem is a little bit with Trent, in terms of we need someone there to, so he can fight against, to be that right. Because again, right now, if we were going to talk about next season, and again we talk about the back four, it writes itself. I think, like, you don't look at this at each and every single place and go, "Oh, that's up for debate." Like, who starts there in that aspect of things? And again, I think that's what you need a little bit. And game by game, we're constantly talking about this. We're talking about, we're not arguing in terms of, who should start at right back. Should Trent stay? Should Trent play this game? Should, this person play this game? We need that. You need competition there. Like, look at the left back situation. Like last season, for example, there was the real conversation of, does Andy Robbo start or does Costa Simica start? And I think a lot of people had that debate where, of course, some people was Andy Robertson, some people was Costa Simicas, and it was a real debate, I think, throughout the season. I think at times, and even at centre half as well. Obviously Virgil van Dijk's there, but then I think last season, I think people were like, do we start Matip? Do we start Kanate? And had that little debate as well. I think that's what you need. You need competition, healthy competition, for your team to be a lot better. And again, I don't think Trent's had that, especially this season anyway. But they're probably one game too soon for Diaz starting. Fulham on Wednesday, maybe as well. Potentially. Want to see a heavy metal game destroying them all over the pitch, like we're used to as well. Yeah, absolutely. We have to start quick. We have to go straight for the jugular, because again, you look at that, the game last night. Spurs struggled at the start of the game, and that's what we have to take advantage of. We have to take advantage of Spurs being lackluster, and go straight for the jugular, and take our opportunities where they lie as well. Anyway, but I'm going to go for a 3-1 win as well. I'm going to agree with what Brian said earlier on in terms of a 3-1 win for Liverpool. Anyway, I think it's going to be Cody Gakpo, Darwin Núñez, and Luis Diaz with the goals for me. I think Diaz will come on off the bench and score a banger anyway. But we're going to quickly go through of course, the breaking news if there's anyone just tuning in as well. Of course, for the breaking news of James Milner, of course, is set to leave Liverpool at the end of the season, and it is Brighton that are preparing a move to sign James Milner as a free agent. Of course, the 37-year-old contract expires in the summer. Brighton determined to secure former England midfielder. Burnley also among suitors, but Roberto De Zerbi's men are currently favourites to get James Milner. And of course, David Ornstein also elaborated, saying that James Milner's contract at Liverpool expires at the end of the season. Despite Jurgen Klopp's wish to keep him, the club has given no indication of offering a new deal for James Milner as well. So again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below, because again, I know plenty of people will have different thoughts and different opinions on, of course, the situation of James Milner leaving Liverpool, and Brighton looking like favourites to sign James Milner, at least anyway. But let me read out the last few comments of the show. Brian saying, look what Newcastle did to them, 5-0 up in 20 minutes. Yeah, and I think that's what Liverpool can do. Like, I think Liverpool can do that, and it has to be. Like, not in the sense of like, oh, Liverpool have to score 6 in terms of 20 minutes or something like that. But Liverpool need to go straight for the jugular. It's not like nothing like, oh, we need to respect Spurs or anything like that. You have to go at them. In my personal opinion, I think they're there for the taking right now. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts on that. Excuse me. Same with me, Connor, as well. Yeah, I know it was Mark, I think, as well. Said 3-1. Sorry, Mark. I really hoped he would have stayed. I always thought Milner would retire at Liverpool. Yeah, I agree. I thought that potentially he might have had that player coach role potentially. But yeah, and as well, I always thought he might have ended up back at Leeds. Maybe when Bielsa was there might have been a chance. But yeah, you look at it at the moment. He's going to be in a team and in a squad that's currently thriving at the moment. Obviously they'll have players there like Adam Lallana, but again, it shows probably the fact that Liverpool probably have a good relationship with Brighton as well in terms of maybe helping him in that way behind the scenes. Again, we don't know the full details of it as well. I know it's going to be on a free, but um, again, with Liverpool potentially taking Alexis McAllister in the summer as well, a like for like realistically when you think about it in terms of players and that aspect of things. Anyway, but obviously Brighton's a good move. Brighton is a good move. Yeah, so it's a brilliant move as well. Even if he went to Burnley as well, I think Burnley is a good move, and the Vincent Company as well. But again, only time will tell what happens with James Milner. But I think we can safely say that James Milner will be leaving Liverpool at the end of the season anyway. But guys, thank you very much for tuning in for tonight's show. Again, if you have liked the show, then please feel free to leave a like on the video. Sorry, I'm going to quickly check how many likes we're on as well, because again, I always try to look and then I'm like, yeah, no, we're gonna go have a look, and then I forget to have a bloody look. Anyway, but we're on 12. We can get to 15 and hopefully get to 20, because I know a couple of people watch the show afterwards as well. So yeah, if we can get to 15, it'd be very much appreciated as always. Anyway, but Doug, good seeing you as well. I've just seen Doug's comment as well in the chat. But yeah, if you're new around here as well, please hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1K before the end of the season as well. So if we can get to it, then again, we very much appreciate it as always. Anyway, but until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. I might be live tomorrow. What day are we on? We're on Saturday tomorrow. We might be live tomorrow. Or again, just check out the shorts if there is any news in that aspect of things. Of course, today, we brought a couple of clips from Jurgen's press conference, and of course, we've spoken about Barcelona and Roberto Firmino. Obviously, Bobby on the list, on the short list for Barcelona, but of course, Barca want Messi. So again, looks like everything's on hold at the minute for Barcelona. They just want Leo Messi back as well, which of course who blames them in that aspect of things. Anyway, but until next time, guys, that's going to be it from us. I've been Connor from the Cop Council. I'll see you all then. Ta-ra.